Tips, and more tips. What's up, 23% Nation? Your man, Coach D, is here. And today we're talking about Love Day, but more importantly, we're talking about Coach D's tips. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my objective with this video is to not only offer you tips for your random act of kindness for a stranger, but I'm also going to include more tips for your acts of self-love. So get ready because Coach D is about to deliver a whole lot of advice. Oh, and before we dive into Coach D's tips, I gotta quickly remind you that yes, because you're on a beginner level, you are still a 3% vegan. So now that we've gotten that all out of the way, let's dive just a little deeper. First up, tip number 1, be prepared for rejection. That's right, remember something, everyone loves differently. And you gotta understand that you are approaching a stranger who doesn't know you from a can of paint. That being said, prepare for rejection. Prepare to be told no. Prepare to be looked at awkwardly. It doesn't matter, guys. It's happened to me, and chances are it may happen to you. So, I just want you to be prepared, and in the case you are rejected, just simply move on. Remember, act out of love, not out of fear. So in other words, don't force anything upon anyone. If someone says no, or if they say go away, simply move on to the next person. Tip number 2, be flexible. Have a plan B, maybe even a plan C. Now this ties into tip number 1, right? Prepare for rejection. So if you are rejected, all you simply have to do is find another stranger. Trust me, there will be a stranger to your right, there'll be a stranger to your left, there'll be a stranger maybe even in the car with you. Well, maybe not that close. You get the idea. So please be flexible. If one stranger doesn't work out, another one will. Tip number 3, don't force anything. Remember to love. After all, it is Love Day and we are in the mindset of performing an act of kindness. So remember, don't force or coerce anyone to do anything. Even though it may feel good to you, it probably doesn't feel good to them. So whatever the case may be, remember to act in a loving manner. Tip number 4, go alone or with someone who is supportive. Now, I do understand that we are interacting with strangers, and so some people may not feel very comfortable interacting with a stranger. So you may want to take someone with you who eases that stress, that level of worry, that level of anxiety. That's a-okay. But just make sure that the person that you're with is supportive of your random act of kindness. That's all. Tip number 5, cast away any feelings of shyness, embarrassment, or worry. Once again, it's Love Day, so be willing to love. I do understand that as children, our parents always told us stranger equals danger, right? Well, not today, okay? Today we're gonna view strangers as an opportunity to share a little more love. So, if you have any feelings of being shy, if you have any feelings of fear or being afraid or frightened, please cast away those feelings and allow the love to bubble up and come out. Tip number 6, set aside at least 1 hour for this activity. The reason why I'm suggesting a full hour is because you don't know how long things will take. Plus, you don't want to rush this. So make sure you manage your time wisely. That way you can be fully prepared and be fully engaged in whoever or whatever you're currently doing. Tip number 7, For those of us who want more love, right? For those of us who want to perform more random acts of kindness, why? Because maybe your first random act of kindness went really well. Okay, you may want to move forward to the intermediate level or maybe even the advanced level. And those two levels, you get to show more love. Okay, so those were Coach D's 7 tips for a random act of kindness. Now, let's dive into Coach D's tips for our acts of self-love. And yes, you are still a 3% vegan. All right, tip number 1 for self-love. Watch the movie The Secret. Now, I know I've said this ad nauseum, and you probably are tired of hearing Coach D tell you to watch the movie The Secret. Well, have you watched it? Probably not. So go ahead and watch it. Okay. The movie The Secret is all about the law of attraction and how we can use that particular law in order to attract whatever it is we really, really want. So guess what? If you're looking for love, or if you're hoping, wishing, and praying for it, chances are you'll figure out how to attract it after you watch the movie. Tip number 2, set aside at least 1 hour for this activity. Let me ask you a question. Are you worthy of 1 hour of your own time? I think you are. So please, budget your time wisely and make sure you spend at least 1 hour loving yourself. Tip number 3, focus on the joy, focus on the bliss, focus on the excitement that the moment brings. Try not to allow any of those low frequency emotions to overshadow the high frequency emotions. This is very, very important for those of us who are looking to take our level of self-love to a higher level. Tip number 4, don't stop at just one act. Keep going. So let's say that you decided to take off all your clothes, look in the mirror, and find one thing to fall in love with, meaning your physical body. Is it your hair? Is it your nose? Is it the color of your skin? Is it your height? Is it the amount of fat you have on your body? Is it the amount of muscles you have on your body? Whatever it is, I'm sure you're loving it. So if you did that and you now see the results, well, guess what? If you perform another act of self-love, then you'll feel even better. So please, don't stop at one act, keep going. Tip number 5, be open to receiving love from others. You got to understand something. Because you are showing love to yourself, and let's not forget you also performed a random act of kindness, you're opening up a window. You're opening up a doorway for more love to come to you. So if anyone wants to be nice to you in the form of paying you a compliment, just simply accept it and just simply receive it. After all, it is Love Day, and love goes 360 degrees, right? So if you're giving it, chances are it'll come back to you. The thing is, you got to be ready, willing, and able to not only recognize it, but you also have to be able to receive it. Tip number 6, go alone or with someone who is supportive of your choices. Remember, this is an act of self-love. So make sure that the person that you're with supports you 150%. Don't go with someone who's like, no, don't do that. Do it later. Do it this way. Stay away from those people. Even if it's your best friend or your husband or your wife, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, go alone, or just make sure whoever you're with supports you, motivates you, and ultimately loves you. Tip number 7, please read the testimonials. As I've mentioned before, hundreds upon hundreds of people have already successfully completed Love Day. And so they want to share their experiences with you in hopes that you will be able to identify with what they're experiencing or learn from what they're experiencing. Either way, I'm sure you'll get something quite gratifying from it. Tip number 8, trust the process of Love Day. In other words, have faith that your random act of kindness and your act of self-love is going to help improve your overall state of wellness. Trust me, it will. So, trust the process and have faith. Tip number 9, you are worthy. Allow me to finish that statement. You are worthy of love. Actually, everyone is. Therefore, make sure that Love Day is something that you go full throttle with. Tip number 10, watch all 10 self-love videos. Now, I put together 10 self-love videos that I believe do a very good job of explaining different things that you can do in order to elevate your level of spiritual wellness and overall well-being. So please take a little time, watch all 10 videos. They're not that long, and I promise they will have a very big impact on your level of understanding self-love. Tip number 11, understand your love language. You see, as stated by Mother Iyanla Vanzant, everyone loves differently. And usually how people love is very closely associated with how people learn. So basically there are 4 different learning styles, hence there are 4 different loving styles. So if you are a visual lover, chances are you like to watch, let's say, romantic comedies or movies about relationships. Or maybe you enjoy pictures of people doing lovely things. If you are an auditory lover, then you enjoy hearing someone say, I love you. If you are a read-write lover, then chances are you enjoy either writing love letters or reading love letters. And last but not least, you may be a kinesthetic lover, meaning you need to do something that's hands-on. You need to get your hands dirty. You need to do something in order to express your love to yourself or express your love to someone else. Tip number 12. Want more love, right? Of course you do. Well, consider the intermediate level of the 23% challenge and also consider the advanced level of the 23% challenge. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. As always, let's eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. This is your man, Coach D. I'm signing out, and always remember, I love you, yes, on Love Day, so take care and God bless.